Hello, welcome to Pro Mix. Shout out Busy Works Beats. Anyway, today I'm gonna teach you and show you how I mixed these.
Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahweh, you deserve the praise. Yahweh, Yahweh, oh, takwala huminiwe, oh, twamishishimuna, Jehovah, twamishishimuna, mweleza.
Hello, welcome to Pro Mix. Shout out Busy Works Beats. Anyway, today I'm gonna teach you and show you how I mixed these vocals.
Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah, you deserve the praise. Yahweh, Yahweh, oh, takwala humini.
So what did I do? First thing first, you have to make sure that your backing singers sing as softly as possible. They are not supposed to be harsh. This is a worship song, so they have to really be very, very soft. All right, so after singing softly, now the next thing that you do is balancing. And the first thing that I do during balancing is to make sure that I start with the highest vocals, the vocals that tend to like be the loudest in the on the chorus are the ones that I start working. So if it's the soprano, female soprano, I reduce it just a little bit. And as you can see, I usually like reduce from this side. Immediately I like highlight, I reduce from this side. I'm gonna do a video on why I do this side and not this side, okay? And then once I deal with the vocals which are the loudest or the highest, then I start now working on the places where the vocals are a little bit off. I work on them, and that is basically using pitch and warp.
Yahweh, Jehovah.
Now, the reason why I did that is for you to take a listen to how into each other these vocals are, and that is the balancing that I was talking about. I keep on doing the same procedure until all the vocals are into each other, until I start hearing no vocal that is trying to get out or trying to be above any other vocal in a strange way. At that time, I know that the vocals are ready for the next step.
Yahweh, Jehovah.
So during the mixing of backing vocals, they always have to be at the same level. So once you reach that stage, know that you are done. Then from there, the next thing that I do is add effects and connect all the backing vocals except the lead. Let me show you something. The lead, this one is into group number 1, so group number 1, that is where the leads are. And then the backings like a female alto and going down are into group number 2. That's where the backings are. Make sure you create groups where you send in your main vocal, your main vocal, and then the rest of the vocals can be in group number 2. So now in group number 2, before we go into group number 2, I want to show you my panning, the way I pan these vocals, backing worship backing vocals or any other backing vocals. This is what I do during panning. The first leading vocal is just centered, has to be on C. Then the next backing vocals, those that accompany the leading vocal, get to be panned. And the first thing that I do is I pan my autos to 45 right and 45 left, just like you can see. You might be asking why.
Jehovah, you deserve the praise.
Why? So the reason is simple, so that you can get the sound that you are hearing right now. If I take these to 100, 190, 100, the vocals are really gonna be so spaced that even if I try to do my best to balance them, they really are going to sound really bad due to also stereo enhancing, because at the end of the day they need to be mastered and they need to be widened a little bit. So in that widening process, due to 100% panning of 100%, the vocals are going to be so spread out and scattered all over. They are not gonna sound great. So I love to create that roundness.
Yahweh, Jehovah, you deserve the praise.
So to create our roundness, 45 and 45, check out the next one, 45 as well, 45 60. This one is going to 60 right, 60 left. I rarely like pan 100%. I rarely do that. Then my tenors, 45 again. So every time you come into the next line of vocals, let's say you are doing autos, you can pan your autos 45, and then the rest 60, as long as it's not 100% completely. Unless if you have a bunch of vocals, then some of those vocals, if they are just too many, like Brandy 100 and something backing vocals, of course you can pan 100% some of those. But like in my case, these are just four just basic backing vocals, and so you just have to make sure you avoid 100% panning, so that your vocals can be much better, can have that roundness. And then the next bunch of your vocals, if they are autos, then you start the first one 45, like the way I've done my tenor, and then the next can be maybe 40 or 50 or 60, as long as it's not 100%.
Yahweh, Jehovah, you deserve the praise.
And then from there we have male soprano, which was of course just one. I told him just record one, and since it was one, I had to just leave it on the center. I did not pan this one, and then ad-libs and the rest just follow in. So that's all about panning of vocals and making sure that you pan them in the right way.
Yahweh, Jehovah.
And now next we go into we go into group number 2, where all these are connected to. So in group number 2, let's go ahead and open up so I can show you the effects that are the plugins that I use. So the first one is Fab Filter Pro Q3. This is the one that I use, but look at this now. Around 200, I had to boost up that frequency, like give the backings that low frequency. Why? I wanted the backings to sound warmer. And then around 746, I had to do a cut. Around 1995, close to 2K, I had to give just a small cut. Look at the cuts that I'm doing. 2 dB, 2 dB, and this one is 2 plus dB, just to warm up the vocal. And this time, since we are dealing with the backings, there is need for this opening up. There is need for that presence, for them to have that top end of presence.
Yahweh,
So that is caused by this raised up. This is the one that I'm talking about. Let me just.
Yahweh, Jehovah.
Air, you need air. So that's the place where you like raise it up in order to give air to your vocals. So whenever you want to have airy backing vocals, raise up this area right there. And then the next thing, compression, of course. My analysis is now on 70. This helps you to like smoothen up the vocals. I've come to realize that this peak and RMS is very good, especially when you want your vocals to be aggressive or when you want your vocals to be smoother. Release is now on the mid. We are dealing with backing vocals, so they have to have that slower release, and then attack very fast, of course. And then makeup gain, this is just volume to raise up the volume ratio to threshold 28. So after that compression, I had to involve virtual mix rack. Virtual mix rack is basically a place where a bunch of plugins are put in and into just one rack. So I used a compressor again, a compressor to like just glue up the backing vocals. So there is need for a second compressor to glue up the backing vocals.
Yahweh, Jehovah, you deserve.
Now to glue up the vocals, I had to use circuit number 2 and the makeup gain just a little bit, and then slow the release a little bit fast and slow, and this time it's not on fast, it's just on 2. Ratio is on 2.5. When you take it to 2.5, suddenly your vocals sound much better than the way they were in the first compression. And then this time using HMF, which is around 2, and then LMF, low frequencies 3, and then I cut a little bit just to make sure that the backing vocals are airy. Backing vocals are different from main lead vocals. The main lead vocal can have that low end, can have that punchy effect, or that you can put a lot of low end, but with the backings there is need for you to cut down a little bit so they can sound airy. And then once I was done with that, this one I just had to use the HMF just a little bit. I put it to 3.2, and basically that's what I did with virtual mix rack. Then another EQ, our third EQ, and this time I aimed around 1K, 895 to 1K, somewhere there, just to control this frequency. Let me play it. Let me just solo this. So I play it from here. Really bite into the ears, so to make sure that the backings are really softened up and also not very sharp but warmed up, you have to cut around 895. Of course, this has to be, the Q has to be on default, just like that, and then the vocals are gonna really sound great. Now after you have done your EQing, compression and more compression and EQing, there is that flow noise, a little bit of that flow noise that tend to be raised up. To control that, you just have to put in denoiser, and I use Cubase denoiser, always works for me, and my setup is just medium, and from there the vocals are just gonna sound great, just like this.
Yahweh, Jehovah, you deserve the praise. Yahweh, Yahweh, oh,
and now to give your vocals more space, like this.
Yahweh, Jehovah.
What you're getting in the background right now, let me close up all these. What you're getting in the background is because of Reverb 32. So there is, this plugin is very powerful. I believe they stopped making it, but this is a very powerful plugin. My weight is down, like I increased my weight, but it's not a problem, because in group number 2, this is why you put in sends. This is why you create send effects. The sends are the ones that you use. The send effects is what you use. Volume is what you use to control the amount of reverb that you're sending into your backing vocal. So my send is on negative 17.43, which is not too much. So this is really helping the vocals to have that space.
Yahweh, Jehovah, you deserve.
So that's the secret right there. Then the next plugin that I had to add in is just a little bit of that double delay, and I'm using double delay from Cubase. So this one is just it's just a little bit negative 33.14. I want to cover up certain spaces where the vocals are not playing, or where the singers are not, the backers are not singing. So that is covered up using double delay, and double delay is really helping me to spread the vocals even more. I'm spreading the backing vocals.
Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahweh.
So basically, this is how you balance up backing vocals, and I'm gonna do another video where I'll be giving out this particular template that I made for you guys. And please, if you love what I'm doing, subscribe, like, and share. Then I'm gonna send this template to you guys.
Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah.
I will see you in the next one.